Hello and welcome back to Arc Logos Podcast. This is your go-to show of well-being and lifestyle. I am your host, Sherelle Wilson-Morrison, joined by my partner in crime.
I don't commit crime, but I'm Anita Pinto Young. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
So you don't like that term, partner in crime? Well, however you want to refer to as my co-host. Welcome. And as always, we ask you to continue to like, share, follow, comment, and subscribe. So, my dear co-host, not partner in crime. So, I was thinking about life, as you do, just pondering on life as I am getting older. And in my ripe age, I decided that...
How much older?
I'm not even going to reveal because in previous seasons I spoke about being born in the 90s and so I can't remember my exact age for now. So let's just say my lovely tender ripe age. I was thinking about life, and as you know, in time, across life things change.
Life is lifing.
I love that term. Life is lifing. And as I was thinking about it, I was like, within that, relationships can sometimes alter.
Change.
Yeah, this is it. And the older I'm becoming, the more I'm realizing that certain friendships that I may have had as a child hasn't necessarily always, most of them have sustained, but some have changed.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then it made me think about, but you've come and relocated from another country. So I wonder what your experiences have been.
Lord have mercy, you go put me on the spot.
Right on the spot. Yes.
Funny enough, I was thinking about it on the way here. And I think obviously I have friends in Jamaica. And I was reflecting on feeling like I had a really strong network in Jamaica. And I think relocating to the UK 16 years ago, it did feel like I had to navigate re-establishing relationships.
Okay.
And if I'm being honest, it's been quite rocky. Because I think there's something about coming to a new country. The people that you meet who already have their friendship groups established.
Okay.
And so sometimes you kind of feel like a tag along sometimes. But there's also, I think sometimes you end up being friends with other people who are immigrants.
Okay, yeah.
Because you're kind of walking that same journey. But I'll say it's immigration does add an extra layer to forming relationships in a new country.
And it's a valid point that you've raised, because they say that even as you get older, sometimes it's quite difficult formulating and making new friendships. Sometimes I think it could be circumstantial.
Yeah.
So like I was saying earlier, I've been quite fortunate that obviously I've been born and raised in the UK.
Yeah.
And I've made a lot of friendships from like nursery stage, like 3-4 years old.
Yeah.
Right up until my current age, which I'm not going to disclose.
Your ripe age.
My tender ripe age. And throughout that time, I have seen some shifts and some changes. There have been certain groups that I find connect very well. And there's certain groups that just are better left as their own kind of group. But I have also had an opportunity to develop and form some adult relationships.
Adult relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the others are child relationships, like you've developed adult relationships now.
But we've grown up, so you've seen the change. Yeah. And I will say, growing up, being a child and forming relationships or friendships, it was easier because it was, we see each other at school.
Yeah.
Or we see each other in classes.
Yeah.
And you're constantly spending that time with those individuals.
Yeah.
Whereas as you get older, life is lifing. You are different jobs.
Yeah.
Maybe different circumstantial things are happening.
Yeah.
Different stages in your adult life. There's so much things that sometimes I feel like you have to work a lot harder at your friendships and your relationships the older you become.
And I work hard. But let me ask you though, let me put you on the spot.
Okay,
though.
go ahead.
What has been the difference for you in terms of your relationships now in adulthood versus probably what you saw when you were, say, high school, or like you said, you have friends from nursery or primary school? Like, what would you say is the difference?
I'd say the difference is availability. Like I was saying earlier, you actually have to make the effort. And I've noticed that. So it's a two-way streak. Whereas growing up as a child, if one person was full on, you had nowhere to run because you were stuck in the same facility as that individual. So even if you had an argument or falling out, you were guaranteed to still hash it out and sort it out, and by like say lunchtime or after school you're all friends and you're hugging and so forth again. Whereas now I find if you have a disagreement, yes, absolutely challenge it depending on how the person may take it, but you'll challenge it, and sometimes someone might be a bit bitter about it, they might harbor hard feelings towards you, and there might be a bit of a distance. It's easier to be distant as I've gotten older. Not saying I am. I want to make that clear disclosure that I'm not. But it's a lot easier to do that distance, I find, than it was as a child.
Yeah, I don't even know. I think I probably need to sit and maybe do a lot of deep reflection on friendships and relationships. Because like I said, it's when I lived in Jamaica, I feel like I had developed quite a strong network of friends.
Yeah.
Friends who I'd made at university, friends I'd made through work. So I mostly made friends through work, and some friends at church, right?
Yeah.
And some of the strongest relationships I made were people that I worked with.
Yeah.
So one of my first job was with, older women who I still consider mentors, who became like family, and I still value those relationships. Whereas I think when I came to the UK, it was quite a major shift.
Of course.
Because I think it was, like I said, being here, feeling like an immigrant, a fish out of water. There was that sense of you're a foreigner, you're a stranger. I'm not saying people were xenophobic, but you got that sense of people feeling like, oh, I need to get to know you and test you before I can trust you. And people joke about British people being a bit cold or aloof or standoffish. I wouldn't say that that's necessarily the case. I mean, I think I lived most of my time in the UK in a very diverse area which had a lot of immigrants and stuff. So people can be warm and everything, but I think there was also that little bit of aloofness, I think. So I think it took years to actually start to form relationships. And even when you form relationships, it still feels like it takes time to find your tribe.
Yeah, and that's interesting because I can kind of see why it would feel like that. I thought as children, you're innocent, you're more open to change, difference, and it's easier, I feel, to make friendships when you're younger you are. The older, I feel like, yes, you're right, you're a little bit maybe standoffish, maybe a bit apprehensive, because sometimes you may feel like you're going by what your own experiences have been. Maybe you formed a friendship with someone in a particular setting and it didn't work out the way you had intended it to, or maybe you're thinking, like some people say, no new friends. I've heard that saying a lot of times.
Or some people say, I don't go to work to make friends.
And you know what? It's funny you said that, because when I did my master's, I remember going there because obviously I was slightly older. And I was like, I've made my friends at university. I'm coming here with just the idea of just getting my degree and moving on. And the group of friends that I made, like within that circle, had the same mentality. So it was kind of like we were all talking about it and laughing and saying, can you imagine? We were saying, no new friends, but we actually...
But you ended up making friends.
Absolutely. And I'm still in touch with them to this day. So... Yeah. And when coming back to your point about work, yes, I can understand the work friends that you'd made, because once again, remember I was saying when I was younger in school, that's your setting, that's your community. So it's understandable that was more sustainable when you were in that environment.
In Jamaica, you mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think immigration brings its own challenges because you're leaving so much behind, and you're in a new country where you're having to learn the norms, you're having to learn the values, you're having to kind of reestablish yourself.
Absolutely.
And even sometimes going around your community, as in Caribbean community, Jamaican community, you would automatically assume that it would be easier.
No.
Hell no. Like it's I think for the first couple of years I kept getting that fresh off the boat vibe. That's how I felt. That's how I was made to feel, like you're kind of fresh off the boat. And then there was also, you'd get to meet people and it felt like there was this silent competition and comparison.
And I was going to come on to that.
And that measuring, okay, you've been here 5 years, I've been here 10 years, so I should be ahead of you. It's just weird, you know? So it's a lot of those nuances that I feel like I had to work through, and it's just been, I don't know.
It sounds like it's been a challenge, I would say. And sometimes you find that over time, like I was saying in the beginning, some of your friendships can change. It could be for a season, reason, purpose. And it's being mindful to that. Some people don't like to see you do well. And it's sad to say, because like you said, it's competitive.
Yeah.
Rather than, and I'm not saying everybody's like this. Some people have that mentality set where it's like like you said, we've come together or you've come after me.
Yeah.
How dare you go
come and be doing better than me.
And be better than me. And it's sad to say, but some people, when you're in the struggles, they're here with you, they're battling with you, they're riding with you. Yeah. But when you start to progress or come out of the struggles, they struggle to come out of that mentality.
Yeah. And it's vice versa, because there are times when you're making a bit of progress and it feels like there are people who want to hang on. Yeah. And you're kind of questioning the motive, and it's like, okay, are you hanging on to me because you care about me? Yeah. Or you think, there's something going on and I need to hang on because I can't afford to lose that, you know? Yeah. And the last couple of years, my relationships have been, I don't know, weird and funny. So most of my relationships I ended up developing at work.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think there were years where I spent feeling like, okay, I need to be a person of value. I need to prove that I have something to offer. And so, again, I was reflecting on that coming here as well, where, so my dad died recently. And my cousin in Jamaica called me, Sanjay actually, and she was saying, you know, I pray for those vulnerable parts of you, the parts that not everybody sees.
Okay.
Because she said, I know you always come across really strong and capable and competent, and you're always looking after everybody else. And so those parts of you that nobody else sees, I pray for those sides of you. And I sat down and thought about what she said about we're social workers in a caring profession, and then translated into a role where we're looking after everybody else. So you kind of, I think my automated position in the last couple of years has been the carer, the nurturer, the person who looks out for everybody, who makes sure people are okay. And so I think in lots of ways, a lot of my relationships became misaligned.
Right.
And I think I became really out of balance, because I think there were seasons that I went through where I felt like I was dealing with struggles that I was dealing with personally. And I was thinking, okay, well, where are my friends?
Oh.
But did I really let people into that side of me? Was I vulnerable enough for people to realize that, okay, actually, she's struggling and she needs help? I don't know.
That's interesting. So from your perspective, what would you have liked to have seen in that time?
I don't even know. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's difficult to sit and blame people and be like, oh, you should have done. Because I often think people treat us how we allow them to treat us, but also how we position ourselves often determines how people treat us. So if you position yourself as an iron lady who's strong, who's competent, capable, and you're looking after everybody else, it's very easy for people to take that for granted and to think, Shirley's fine. Yeah. Like, Shirley's always looking after everybody else. She don't need nothing. Do you know what I mean? And so this is why I'm saying that I can't be angry with anybody. I have to step back and do that reflection on myself to say, well, how have I positioned myself and how do I need to adjust?
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, my condolences for your loss. I know I've said it many a times, but I obviously wanted to give that some space as well.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because a lot of times people may see me as similar to yourself, Anita, the comforter, the strong, the iron lady, as you kind of use that term.
Iron Cheryl.
Yeah, the iron. But then it's, you're right, when I'm vulnerable, when I'm in need, I feel like I hold back a lot. So sometimes I might be feeling a type of way, but I won't necessarily verbalize it.
Yeah.
Whereas I have certain friendships where as soon as one little piece of like overwhelming feeling, they will tell you, I feel overwhelmed. I feel this, I feel that. And I feel a lot of times I've set up this kind of barrier. I don't know whether it's a way of protecting myself. I'm not sure whether it's because the expectations of what people have of me. I can't tell you what it is. But I know that I put this barrier up sometimes and I don't always allow myself to be vulnerable with everybody. And I thought about that on the way. Jesus, the amount of things I was thinking about on the way. You knew.
Because I remember a season that I went through where I was vulnerable and there was a lot going on and I let my guard down. I'm not sure if it was around friends. I think it was around colleagues, and I was trampled on. Like, I feel like that season, those vulnerabilities were used to the fullest.
Okay.
Do you know
so
what I mean?
Used against you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like experiences like that can teach you to keep it together.
Right.
Not let your guard down. And then obviously, I think there is something about having an inner circle though.
Yes, I agree. Yep.
And I'm blessed with a large family.
Yeah, you are.
So
yeah.
I have my sisters and my brothers and my mom and cousins who've become like sisters.
Nice.
So there are times when things are going on and I know there's a community that I can reach out to, right? But again, none of my family live in the UK.
Yeah.
So there is that thing around proximity as well.
Of course, yeah.
Where sometimes it would help to have people here that you feel like you can reach out to and say, hey, this is what's going on. But again, there are seasons that you're going through where things are difficult and it's not everybody that you want to let in.
And that's another thing. Yeah. I do feel like I'm very conscious of what I share. Like I was saying to you before, born and raised in the UK, a lot of my friendships are still here. Some have moved out of London, some have moved out of the country.
Yeah.
And I then have to kind of work to kind of maintain those friendships.
Yeah.
But there might be something that I'm going through, something really personal.
Yeah.
And instantly I'm like, okay, I'm going to say this to that particular friend or that particular inner circle.
Yeah.
And there may be something that I'm going through where I'm like, actually, everyone can know all this because it's not as vulnerable or very sensitive.
Yeah.
But I am very cautious on what I share and who I share it with.
Yeah.
There's certain friends, and it's so funny because as the older I've got, there's certain friendships that I may not have been internally close with them, but as I've gotten older, we've become close.
Yeah.
And there's certain things about me that they know that even people that may feel that they're in my inner circle don't know.
Ooh.
I know.
Yeah, and that's the thing about, friendships evolve and change and adapt.
Yes.
And so I'm never rigid about relationships.
Oh, yeah.
There were times when I used to be quite, probably devastated if relationships end. But I think it was TD Jakes who said, people come around your life for a reason, season, time, and a purpose.
Yeah.
And there are times when people have come, they've served a purpose. You had great times together. And then that season has come to an end. I don't dislike you.
Yeah.
I don't hold anything against you.
Yeah.
But this relationship has just come to a natural end. And it's okay.
Yeah.
Right. And there are times when obviously either side might feel a little bit offended because you've pulled back or you're not in touch anymore. And it's like, this has just ended. You know what I mean? And I think going back to that whole thing about who you let in during difficult times. And interestingly, going through even the grieving season that I've gone through, still going through. And having to be careful about who I have conversations with. Because not everybody's sensible,
Yeah.
And sometimes people can say some mad things to you.
Yeah.
And I want to jump through the phone.
Yes.
And there's that whole thing about there are people who are reaching out and they want to be there. And I remember when my dad passed, for example, and my phone would be ringing from morning to night, but it was my family. There's 8 of us.
Yeah.
Plus their nieces and nephews and in-laws and cousins and aunts and uncles. So just my tribe alone keeps me busy. Yeah. And instinctively something major had happened. We just huddled. So it just means that I wake up in the morning and I phone my mom and my sister and my phone is going to keep ringing until like midnight sometimes. I'm not even exaggerating. And there were days during that season where I had to switch the phone off. Because I was becoming overstimulated.
Okay, yeah.
And I found myself becoming agitated. And then there are people who were either friends or acquaintances who are texting and calling and it's like, I can't.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it sometimes felt like people probably felt offended that you weren't taking calls. And it's like, but I can't. I just don't have the capacity.
Yeah, you're talking about like boundaries, I guess. And that's what comes to mind as you was kind of explaining your circumstances.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had to learn to set boundaries, because I used to be, you know, that term open door policy. That was pretty much me. No matter what was happening on my end, anyone had any issues, I was literally like, everyone would come and they would trauma dump, they would emotional dump, they would dump, literally. And I'd always would be like, it's okay. And there'll be times where I might have something on and then someone would be like, help, I'm in emergency, I'm in crisis. And I would literally go into crisis mode, drop whatever I was doing and go and kind of help firefight pretty much. But like you said, I became overwhelmed. I was starting to burn out. I know we talk about burnout in the workplace, but in me emotionally, I was just like, this is a lot. And I think it took one incident where I'd always help this, like a friend or a group of friends. I'd always be there for them. And then I was in need for something. And the one time I allowed myself to be vulnerable, they weren't there. And I know I shouldn't expect it, but I kind of did, especially given how much I'd given myself. And
it's natural for us to think, if I've invested a lot in you, that you're going to reciprocate.
Absolutely.
Right? But there are times when relationships become really one-sided.
Absolutely.
And you're the go-to person for the support. And the relationship has always been characterized by you doing the helping, you doing the heavy lifting.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you don't quite realize it until something happens and you're the person who needs the lifting up. But again, like I said, even in those seasons, I don't become angry, because I have to acknowledge that I created that dynamic in that relationship. And so I usually have to step back and reassess and decide, actually, is this relationship serving me? You know, because if I've always positioned myself as the mentor, as the spiritual guru, as a person who's praying for you and sending you scripture and building you up, and you know, and it gets exhausting, you know. And that's what I mean about, sometimes you get to a point where you can tell that the Holy Spirit is saying, actually, you need to pull back now.
And that's it. Like, faith has obviously played a vital role when it comes to looking at certain circles. And if I look at Sherelle 10 years ago, wouldn't have been that old, but 10 years ago, Sherelle, compared to Sherelle now, yes, a lot of my friendships have been sustainable and they're still there, but a lot has shifted and a lot has changed. And there was a point that came to mind as you were talking, and it's just gone out my head, which is so annoying, but it will come back. And I think it was along the lines of knowing when it's okay to say goodbye. And like you said, not harboring any resentment and hard feelings. And also recognizing that growth. I said earlier about, as an adult, you have to work on those relationships. I've got a friend, she lives in Derby. And she has 4 kids. I won't disclose her name, but most people will know who she is from me giving that kind of context. I tell you now, no matter rain, wind, snow, thunder, whatever, if there's something happening and you tell her, she'll be there. If I were to call her, regardless of what's going on for her, she'll make the time.
Keeper.
Oh, definitely.
She's a keeper.
And I've noticed as well, she's also a Christian. Not to kind of say, you know,
that is why.
No, we kind of also connect on our faith-based side of things and other things that we have similar. But it made me realize that if people want to, they will. I know there's things happening, and sometimes we have our down spurts, we have our up spurts, but it's just a straight form of communication. And like I said, with this particular friend, no matter what, she will make that effort. And if she can't, she will just say, actually, not this time, but how about let's schedule something else?
And I realize that not everybody has the capacity.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Some people, we all carry our loads differently. Some people are really good at carrying loads. Because a lot of the times when I'd be sacrificing for people and supporting them, it's not because I don't have things going on. But, you know, I'm able to, put my stuff aside and be selfless enough to be there. You know, whether it's to listen or to, you know, build up or to encourage or to pray, right? But like I said, we all carry things differently, and there is something about us taking that responsibility to assess, does this person have capacity for me? And sometimes we don't do that assessment. We just meet people, we connect and we like them and we think, okay, yeah, let's just be friends. And then when you don't get what you need out of the relationship, you get angry and bitter, and it's like, but the person didn't have the capacity for you. You were always the supporter, the helper, the counselor, the encourager, you know. So why are you going to be upset when they're not there for you? Because it was never characterized by that anyway. We would expect, and it's nice to expect, because I think I saw this thing once where it said you can't expect you out of other people.
Yeah, your own values, you can't. You
can't expect you out of other people. Yeah. And just because you treat somebody well does not guarantee that they will treat you well.
Yeah. Wow, this is deep. It's deep and insightful. And the other point I was going to raise has come back to the front of my brain.
It's come back. It's made its way back.
It gradually made its way back because of my young brain, you know. So it happens. There's also circumstances. So obviously within my friendship circles, I have different pockets of friends, like I mentioned before. And people have got married over that time. People have moved country, like relocated. People have had kids. Some have gone through divorces. Like there's different life cycles. Yeah. And I do feel like depending on where I'm at in my life cycle, it also may kind of determine where that individual is to receive me. So like a lot of my friends that are married or getting married, I feel like we were close, but we've gotten closer as they're preparing for marriage or getting married. A few weddings that I've attended. And I've noticed that we were close, but we got even closer. And then the ones that are having kids, I have started, I won't say a distance, but there has been a difference. And it's not a negative thing because, like I said, priorities change. When a child is in, or a relationship becomes focus, absolutely becomes the center of that. Outside of God, of course. And I'm mindful of that. And there's times where back in the day, you might be like, oh, let's just be sporadic, let's be spontaneous, let's do this. That can't always happen
because people have childcare issues.
Understandable. And I had to learn that, and obviously getting older and realizing that it was something for me that was my emotional intelligence coming out and my growth. Because at the time it was a bit of a challenge, especially when you're used to being so accessible for others. And then it's kind of like, oh,
they don't have time anymore because they have
counselling last minute because of childcare. But that's okay. I'm not saying it's a problem. I said I had to learn.
You've had to adjust.
Absolutely. And I think it's important with relationships and friendships and navigating them. We talked about boundaries, but we're also talking about the importance of adaptability.
And you're right, because in terms of, again, when you're teenagers or early adulthood, you might get on the phone and talk to your friends regularly because we're friends, right? But then you become adults and those relationships change because you may not talk to each other for months. And there's that understanding that we're adults now, we have lives, we have families, we have children. So the connections aren't going to be as regular. But at the same time, even if I haven't seen you for 4 months, we can catch up and we're still friends because we have those same values. I mean, while you were talking, something funny came to my head. I just think about sometimes calling my sister and her kids are in the background. And every 5 minutes, there's her shouting at a child going, get off there. Don't do this. I mean, you've seen the videos of it, but it's talking to your friends with kids as well. And the conversation is being interrupted every 1 minute because they're having to
attend to them,
attend to a child. So but again, it's having the understanding of
absolutely,
I'm not the only person in the picture now, and you have other people to attend to, and that's okay. And
some friends are not ready to see that growth and that change because, for example, I told you before, I used to be on the raving scene a little, used to do a little two-step and so forth, but I think because I've done it so young, and also where I am as well in my faith-wise, my faith journey, I'm not necessarily that way inclined. Don't get me wrong, I'll go to a bar, I still enjoy a bar, but I'm not like a clubber. But I still have friends that are into that, and that's fine, but we still connect in other ways. And I don't feel as though that friendship hasn't been maintained, but we're just not like how we were before, but the friendship's still there. So I just thought, I thought I'd add that in there as well because it came to mind.
And it's like I said, it is obviously we talk about categories and we talk about the whole thing about inner circles and who are the people that we keep close that we can trust. And it's, people who demonstrate emotional intelligence. And that you can feel safe with, because there is something about protecting your peace. And it's not everybody that we can let into that inner circle, because sometimes people just aren't emotionally aware about what's going on for them. And there are times when people, without knowing it, can display really unsafe behaviors, either leaving you feel emotionally abandoned, because sometimes they might be going through something and they don't know how to communicate and say, boy, Cheryl, I know I might be coming across a little bit like this now, but and you're probably left for months wondering, what have I done? Because you're not really talking to me. And then there are times when you kind of have to just make that adjustment and say, actually, I need to step back to protect myself, you know? So yeah, I don't even remember what else I was going to say. But what are some of the other rules you would say around, you know, what are some of the things that helps to maintain our adult relationships and friendships?
I would say, as I've grown and stuff like that, I've noticed that a lot of my friendships have progressed and that's helped. Whereas I feel like if a lot of my friendships stayed back to the teenager Cheryl, I don't think necessarily it would work. Yeah. So that's helped a lot as well. Yeah. I feel like I said that putting boundaries in has been very key. And circumstantially where I've met certain friends. So like I've met friends at work and made friendships or acquaintances, as one would say. Also relationships around like my husband as well. That's something to also be mindful of. And it made me think, because nowadays a lot of people are finding relationships maybe online, but there's also sites where you can find friends. Really? Yes. I think there's one called Peanut or something like that, where you can actually make friends. So like, for example, there's people that may be like first time mums and they want to kind of find a mummy group. And sometimes, obviously, we're an older population having kids, a lot of us having them later. Yeah. And a lot of the mums that are younger, a lot of them may feel they don't really kind of connect on. So there's actual apps where you can make these friendships. Really? Yes. I mean, maybe I laugh about that because I form relationships quite easy, and probably you as well. And I think that's probably what happens when you're quite outgoing and friendly. Maybe it works for introverts. I don't know. I mean, it's a society now. Like I said, even finding love. I know a few people that have actually found their life partners online. I feel like it's just in terms of a lot of people don't always meet people where they used to, like bars or work. And it's the times, I guess. So society-wise, media is and AI is the new craze. So I'm not surprised that there's a way to meet friends. I think relationships have developed really short attention spans in our 21st century. Okay, explain a bit more about that. Like, I think, and you probably will hear some of the older generation say, people don't talk anymore. Just it's texting and, you know, like WhatsApp and stuff. And it's like, sometimes I want to go back to those conversations. See, I'm opposite. I love the voice notes. I love the aspect, not long text messages, because that's like paragraphs. But having the opportunity to someone to, or myself, record a message, and it's usually podcasts, like 16, 20 minutes long, but I can listen to it and still, I feel like maybe it's an attention span thing. I'm actually agreeing to your point. I can carry on and do the ironing, or I can do the dishes, or I can do other things and not have to just sit down and spend hours on the phone having that one conversation. I like the conversation, but hey, I mean, I usually hate voice notes. Oh, I love them. Because I find that I have to find time and sit and be still and listen to it. And I don't have... You don't have to... No. Okay, here's your task. Try and listen. I'm going to send you a voice note today. Try and listen to it on the go. No, don't. Watch, and you'll love it. No, I don't. You'll love it. I mean, people send me voice notes all the time and I dread it. I mean, I think there's something about having the conversation in the moment and you're there and we can talk and vibe and... I feel like a lot of our relationships are losing their value, man. Like everybody's becoming so fast-paced, microwave, social media. We just send a voice note kind of thing. And it's like, what about sitting down and talking? No. I'm just, I love the voice notes. I definitely feel like I love them. But then there's times where I get it. I do want to have that conversation. Yeah. But it's finding the time. And maybe because of it's me as a person, I don't necessarily always have the time to sit down and engage in. You make yourself busy, innit? No. I think, again, it's personality differences. Yes, I'd agree. Because there are some people who love a deep, meaningful conversation. That's me. I love a deep, meaningful conversation. So for me, sometimes I struggle with surface level relationships. And when I say surface level, I mean like superficial relationships where it's kind of on the surface and we're not getting to the meat of the matter. Because like, how do I get to know you if we're not spending time together? So like I said, it's a personal thing. No. It's a personal thing. Yeah. So bring back the conversations, man. I'm going to ask, when you say surface level,
Yeah.
do you mean no voice notes? I just want to get some clarity on
I'm not talking about voice notes or no
Okay.
voice notes. I'm just saying there are times when you meet people and the relationships feel really surface level. So you talk, but you don't talk. You're not talking about anything.
Okay.
So for me, relationships that are meaningful are those where we can sit and have really deep, meaningful conversations. We can talk about family.
Okay.
We can talk about faith. We can talk about things that we make us upset. We can not vent, but we can just sit and talk. So
Okay. I'm following you now. And it's funny you said that, because I do have a few friendships that's like that. So we'll meet up and go for dinner, or we'll do an activity.
Yeah.
And you're right. We sit down and we
Yes.
have that conversation.
Yes.
And I'll be honest with you, I enjoy it. I do
Yes.
love that.
Yes.
Outside of that, however,
Yes.
the voice notes are just, they do it for me.
You want voice notes?
Yeah, ideally.
I remember sending you a voice note when you go, oh, we're doing voice notes. And
I
I'm
was so
like,
happy.
what?
I was like, welcome.
From now on, I'll send you voice notes.
No. Don't change your way.
No. I think there is something about meeting people halfway, as my dad would say.
Okay.
My dad always says there's something about meeting people in the middle. And there is what I like, but there's also what you like. And I think sometimes it is okay to bridge the gap. Because I think if we both sit in our positions, that is where sometimes there's some, I wouldn't say tension.
Okay.
But there's that, I don't know how to explain.
I know what you mean, because I have a friend that she loves texting.
Yeah.
Or like similar to you, telephone calls
yeah.
as well. But to meet me in between, we do a mixture of the texting and then a mixture of the voice notes.
Yes.
And as much as I hate the text messages, because I actually have to sit down
and read it.
it.
I send some long text messages, don't I?
Oh, you love a text message.
I love writing.
But that's the thing, and I understand.
Yeah.
And sometimes I hope you don't take it to offense that I send a short
I'm not
response.
Vexed. I'll still send you the long text messages.
Okay, I'll respond to voice note next time, so you can get
respond to your voice. Do you know what it is? I'm a writer, and this is what I mean about, because I'm a writer, I'll sit down and type up a long ass text message in a couple of minutes. Do you know what I mean? Something that will take people longer to write. And again, because I write, I get things out in writing, right?
Yeah.
And I also, like I said, like conversations. I'm quite a big communicator. The other day I was creating this profile on Upwork.
What's Upwork?
It's this freelance site that you go and put a profile on and da.
Yeah.
And then it had you do these different tests to see what kind of person you are in terms of what is your biggest strength in terms of work. And my big strength is communicator.
That doesn't surprise me. But sometimes, I mean, I'm in and out. Sometimes I'm happy to have those long conversations.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want the highlights.
Yeah.
Just give me the...
definitely.
Okay, what is it? I don't want to hear, so today I woke up and I decided to have breakfast. No. What is it? Tell me.
Get to the point.
Oh, I drove I was on the ferry today.
I was on the ferry today.
Exactly.
I got on a ferry.
So that was good. When you said I'm on the ferry, I was like, perfect. It's the highlights. It's the headlines.
I was scared.
Oh gosh.
No, I didn't know what to expect. So obviously I put in the directions to get to this studio.
Okay.
And then I pull up somewhere and there's a line and the map is saying ferry. I'm like, what? I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know, was this going to be some kind of boat that I'm going to drive the car on? Is my car going to fall off in the water? Like, there was
I guess it's new, so obviously.
There were so many things going over in my head. It was actually fine. It was actually, it's a massive ferry. There's like 4 lanes and it's built like a car and you just like 4 lanes.
Yes.
And you just drive on, you stand up in the line and you come off again.
Did you get out of the car whilst you were on the ferry?
No, you're not allowed to.
Oh, you're not allowed to?
The sign says stay in your car.
Oh, gosh.
And keep the handbrake up.
Yeah.
Because the ferry's moving. Like you just...
it takes you from A to B.
Yeah, because you just get on and then you notice it starts to spin. I recorded it a bit.
Oh, you recorded?
I was like, oh my gosh. I'm moving.
Did you enjoy it? Afterwards, did you enjoy the process?
Do you know what? Because I had the phone to give me directions, I actually hit record. And I started recording bits of it because, oh my gosh, I'm going to send this to my family and say, go on a ferry.
Oh, that is so funny.
It was intriguing. It was interesting to say the least. As in, I've never been on a ferry before. And today with that, but that's the thing. It's like you go into Google Maps, you're laughing at me, and you tell it you want to get to whichever place you're getting to. At no point did this thing say to me I was going to get on a ferry. So I wasn't prepared.
But what would you need to prepare though? Bring snacks, bring a blanket, like what?
I mean to be mentally prepared.
Oh, okay.
Because what I'm saying is like I drive up and it's saying I'm 10 minutes from the venue, and then there's a line and it says I need to get on a ferry.
Okay.
And I'm like, what? A ferry? This is what I mean. It's like I didn't plan for it. I didn't know it was gonna happen.
Okay. Yeah.
So like I was freaking out a little bit.
But now you've experienced it. It's not as bad.
It's all right.
Yeah. And it was quick.
It was a little bit delayed because there was quite a line of, because initially the sat nav said I would have gotten here at 12:15. I didn't get on until about 12:30. Because obviously the ferry has to load up, spin around, drop people across the river.
Okay. Yeah.
Then load up again, spin around, drop people on this side.
Okay.
So I think even though your sat nav can guesstimate what time you're gonna get here, it really depends on, I don't even know how many cars are there. Yeah, so it added 15 minutes to my journey.
But it was a scenic route.
Huh?
It was a scenic route.
Listen. I would do it again. Now that I've done it, you know, like sometimes the first time you're doing something, you don't know what to expect, and there's the fear of
the unknown.
Gosh.
Yeah.
And then they have a sign at the beginning, you know, where they show a car dropping off in the water. So many thoughts were going through my mind
Because the handbrake wasn't on, I guess. So it just rolled in.
I don't even know how
I
it
can't believe we're
works.
now talking about your ferry journey. I don't know how we got onto this topic. We've literally just done a whole diversion around it. But was there anything else you'd like to share about your ferry experience?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
But all in all, you'll get on a ferry again is your takeaway.
That one was okay.
Gosh. You know what? It makes me think of my, not ferry, but boat experience. So I remember I went to Trinidad. Coming off topic, but it's just relevant to boats.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time they were like, "Oh, we're gonna go from Tobago to Trinidad, but you need a boat."
Yes.
And I remember the time I was told like, "Take the seasickness tablets." I was like, "I don't get seasickness. I'm fine. I'll be good."
You got seasick.
Got on the boat and I was like, "No, why do I feel like I'm moving? Like, what is this?" And then in the end, I took those seasickness tablets. Yeah, and I just conked out.
Okay, I didn't get seasick on the ferry though.
It's a bit different. But it made me think of my boat experience.
It was only about 5 minutes though.
Oh, so by the time you sat down, it was time to get off.
No, it was about 7 minutes.
You spent more time probably queuing to get on than you did.
Yeah. You spend more time queuing and getting on and getting the thing ready than actually the journey. But it's a massive whole thing, you know.
Oh my gosh, you with this ferry. You're going to get all your relatives coming over to
Listen,
go on the
I
ferry.
have to process it because that was just one of those experiences that I never expected, and it just happened out of the blue. And here I am on this big old ferry, and I thought I was going to die. I'm joking.
But you know what? It's good that you share it because it's a new experience.
Yes.
And I know, especially as an adult,
Yes.
sometimes we can be a bit cautious of trying anything new.
Yes.
I know as a child, I was literally theme parks.
Yes.
Trust me, I was on those high
Yeah.
roller coasters.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to contemplate life.
Listen, I didn't have a choice today because, again, like I said, the sat nav leads you to this road, and you enter the road, and there's no turning back. And you're in a line.
Yeah. So it's like you had no choice.
And it says ferry. I considered turning around, you know, but I was like, where will I go? Because
Well, well done for challenging your fear and trying something new. Definitely. So is there any other last comments around friendships? Or
I know, I've gone off.
I'm bringing you back.
Take them on ferries. Take them on ferry
Take
journeys.
them on ferry journeys.
Well, friendships are like ferries, you know.
Okay, let's
They
go
take you from
metaphors.
one point to the next, didn't it? Some relationships take you from one point to the next.
Okay.
And like I said, a lot of our relationships we grow from.
Yes.
We learn a lot of things from, we develop. And I've been better off for most of the people I've had in my life.
Yeah.
Whether they're here now or we're not as close anymore.
Absolutely.
You know? So I don't look at most relationships with bitterness. I'm not a drama person though. I don't deal with arguments
you don't
and
like
stuff.
pasa-pasa.
I'm not into the pasa. So very rarely, I don't think I've ever had a relationship that's ended like that. I think most of my relationships, even ones that have come and gone, there's still mutual respect. There's still we could still say hi to each other.
Yep.
Compliment each other. We're just not as close anymore. And I think that's the other thing I would say about adult relationships, that we learn to respect each other and
Yep.
end well, even
Yeah.
if relationships have to end,
Mm-hmm.
that we end well.
Yeah.
And also, you know, protect each other's secrets as well. Because there's something about, if you and I were friends, there are things that you would have known about me, there are things that I would have known about you. Just because we're not friends anymore,
Don't be sharing that.
don't mean that I need to go and spread your business to the world.
Yeah.
We're not friends anymore, but I still respect and value you.
And that's a valid point.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yes.
And I do feel like, to kind of summarize as well, I've learned a lot from all my friendships, whether past, present, future. However, I've learned a lot from all of them. I feel like, although I've given a sense of myself, they've also given a sense of themselves. And it's shaped some of my characteristics.
Yeah.
It shaped my ability to set boundaries. And just overall, that learning around, I respect every person that's entered my life.
Yeah.
Whether it's been a long-term friendship, whether it's been short-term. I'm grateful, totally entirely grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we're coming to an end, I just wanted to kind of give you an opportunity to have one more question.
Lord, we don't have no time.
We
Anyway,
do.
go on.
I have one more question for you. So in terms of relationships, what would you say is, how do you overall navigate your relationships as an adult?
I think God is central for me.
Okay.
In terms of having discernment. And like I said, that whole thing about seasons, time, purposes, and knowing when sometimes God is saying, you know, this relationship has served its purpose and it's okay to let go and to move on.
Yeah.
As well as, you know, in an extreme case, there are times when people infiltrate your circle and there are things about them that are really unsafe.
Okay.
And it takes the Holy Spirit to reveal it. That actually this person is quite unsafe and you know you need to just run.
Yeah.
So I think for me is I always I let God choose my friends. And then I also let God help me manage my relationships. I pray for my friends. But I also allow God to help me to decide, you know, when people come along, I say, God, why has this person come? And why have they come? Why are they here? And I always try to get a sense of, like you, for example, I know God sent you. So even if I want to dash you, I can't dash.
Hey.
I'm joking. No, so I'm just saying there are relationships that God placed in your life strategically.
Yeah.
And people who God has placed, and you know that God has placed that person. And so I have to respect what God has done.
No, faith is key.
Let me stop because I'm going to get
Yeah,
myself
I'm going
into
to take
trouble.
the mic off you from now and agree with that around faith-wise. And I'd also say for me, it's also recognizing what serves its purpose and being open to the fact that sometimes not everybody that started the journey with you will end the journey with you.
Yeah.
And that has been definitely a life lesson.
Okay.
So on that point, I'd like to thank our listeners as always. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you have any comments around friendships, around relationships and how you are able to navigate it as an adult, we always appreciate it. As always, we say please share, like, comment and
Subscribe.
That's a wrap.